Again, I think we got to adapt with this new environment. Men's basketball in North America is something that is really drastically changed over the last, I would say, 4 to 5 years, especially with name, image, and likeness, and I think the effect that it's had on the U.S. and how they go about their business. So it's been very challenging times for men's basketball in Canada, and I don't think we're totally immune to that. But that just means we just got to pivot a little bit differently. I think the biggest thing is I think we still have a great model for player development, and I think people know the Carleton name, and I think that's really been great in terms of recruits and getting top level recruits, and I think we're still continuing to do that. Just now the challenge is to retain them. I think that's probably the biggest challenge with the ability to make money now as a collegiate athlete, and they're wanting down south trying to get older players. I think now that's kind of affected us a little bit. So I think losing our top two players, probably our top two most talented players to the U.S. this year is something that I won't say I didn't foresee, but I think we just got to kind of say, hey, you know what, it's great. Still like some of our players, still a great development model, but I think what we want to do is adapt a little bit more. I think we're going to bring in a couple more transfers. We got a couple of transfers that right now, a little older transfers that we're going to see this year, and still got to bring in some young guys, and still got to develop these people. So I think we just got to change and pivot just slightly, just in terms of being able to have depth in your roster, have a group of guys who are more veteran, have a group of guys who are still developing, and then you have some young talented guys. So I think we're going to kind of go about that way, and I think we'll have some really good news in the next couple of weeks to kind of share with you all, and kind of bring out the roster and tell people what we have for 25-26. Again, we're always looking for different opportunities. Now, CanApp is one of those things that have kind of died down just because of the NIL and the ability for universities down south to pay their players, and that money that they used to use to come up and play as teams is now something that they use to those specific players. The second thing is that their roster management and their rosters development, it usually was one of those things where they got to start 10 days early so they can kind of deal with the roster they've already had and kind of in their second, third year. Now that rosters change so much and change year over year, it's just not as big a priority for them to do those things. So I think those two things have kind of led to CanAb situation not having as many opportunities. Now, again, I think there'll be a couple of opportunities. I haven't seen any yet this year, but again, I think it's one of those things that we're always willing to play whoever we need to play, and again, I think we're going to always have that option, but I just think the days of that is dwindling. So we just got to be able to adapt to that as well. I think we've got a couple ideas that we got floating in mind. We're still going to try and develop this pro weekend that we've had, and I think we're going to try and figure out a way to play our guys, our former players, if they're still around. So we got some ideas in mind for the summer, but again, we still do the same thing. Our basketball camp's a big part of what we do, and we have 9 weeks of basketball camp. A lot of our guys come in, work it. They train at nights. We've been doing this about 5-6 days a week. Really developing these guys. It's something that we've always been able to do, and I think it's really given us a really good head start into the new year. To the new season. We like to kind of play some games in between, but at the end of the day, we got to adapt. We got to pivot. We got to figure out how we're going to be able to play these games as well. So we still have some other opportunities that are kind of percolating, internationally. So we just got to keep our eyes and ears open. We're still, again, Carleton's still one of those teams that people know how well we prepare, and know how we, how serious we are about the basketball program. And again, I'm still hearing a lot of things about opportunities that are being out there. So we just got to wait and see, and hopefully we can also still benefit from those things. Yeah, I think the biggest thing about the Alumni Association, again, I think one of the things that the damage of COVID is just not getting together as much as we used to, and I think it kind of dwindled down, not allowed to bring a lot of people, and I think we lost a lot of momentum in terms of our alumni after 2019, 2020. So again, we're trying to revive that, trying to get more of a formal kind of year-long get-together that we can have, and there's a couple of ideas that we got percolating, but really right now it's kind of a reach out to anybody who wants to be involved in the Alumni Association association, definitely reach out to me. I definitely, again, we got a couple of guys that are kind of working behind the scenes. I've had a couple of meetings right now to kind of get that revived, and I think we have some really great ideas. But again, we're welcome to anybody who wants to volunteer and wants to be part of Carleton University. I think we have a great alumni group, and I think we got to get together more often. So again, there is plans in the works to be able to develop a couple of different ideas that we have, and right now we're spending the summer to kind of go over some of those ideas and definitely kind of have something that we're going to kind of move forward in 25-26. Now and again, and Dunsmore's did a great job of bringing us to a certain level in terms of our donations, and always appreciated for what they have done for us. David and Margaret have been great people, and they really were really responsive, and really thank them for everything that they've done for the program. As we move forward, we still continue to need donations and people moving forward with that, with those initiatives. I think the biggest challenge that we have is our student retention. I think money is probably the biggest challenge that these guys have. I mean, we have a scholarship program. Well, we do a great job with our scholarship program. There's still some strings to that lead to academics that, again, doesn't maybe allow everybody to get that money. But there's so many little different things within living arrangements, living off campus. Everything we do does go back to the guys, but I think that was one of definitely the initiatives that we want to make sure we continue to do. Again, we got to make sure that our shooting machines are down. I think they're over 10 years old, so we definitely got to get those back up. So we have to purchase new ones. So that's super important in terms of the guys' development. And again, I just think that anything that we do is about the guys, and we're trying to support these guys the best we possibly can. And I think any donations that we do get is make sure we understand is 100% going to the basketball team.